Thanks for coming. I'd like to call this meeting to order, September the 14th. The Board of Directors meeting for the GTA in the Spa Lounge at 8:30 the year 2017. We'll begin the meeting now with call the meeting to order and introduction. So we'll start on the far end. Go ahead.
Make a motion.
I called the meeting to order.
Dorothy Wozniak, General Manager.
Rich Della Fuente, Director at Large.
Richard Vasquez, Director, Tower 3.
Soheila Kupler and Tower 2.
Wade Weston, Tower 3 President.
Joe Purcell, Tower 1. Justin Mack, Director at Large.
Michael Kricko, Director.
Richard Miller, Director, Tower 1.
Okay, thanks. So the first order of business is the approval of the open minutes for the June 15th and July 20th, 2017.
I make a motion to approve the open board minutes for June 15th and July 20th, 2017.
Is there a second? The motion's been made and seconded to approve the open meeting minutes for July 15th and July the 20th. I'm sorry, June 15th and July the 20th. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Opposed? It passes unanimous. The next order of business is reports and remarks. So I'm first up on that. So first of all, I'd like to thank you guys for all coming, and we've had a lot going on. We didn't have a meeting last month, but some of the things that we've discussed in the previous meetings are coming to fruition tonight to come to a formal vote. I also like to remind everybody on the 26th, we're going to have our next homeowners meeting to discuss what's up at the Galaxy. Give you a brief overview now. We're just going to talk about the capital projects that are in work, the current funding situation, where we are with the finances, and all of our R&R projects that we have slated. And we're going to open the forum to and ask everyone else if there's any other projects that they feel a priority, that they feel that we need to make a priority, and give a quick overview of what's going on financially here at the Galaxy and projects that are in work and where we're going to do on completion dates. That's about all I have. Other than that, we'll go over to the general manager for her. I'm sorry, the treasurer first.
Good evening. My name is Sean Curry. I'll be presenting the as of July 31st, the financial treasury report. As of July 31st, total cash in the deposit account is approximately $849,000. The balance of the R&R account are $4.6 million. The escrow account has a balance of $1.6 million. And the available cash as of July 31st, 2017 was approximately $7.2 million. I will continue on with the accounts receivable for July 31st, as of July 31st. The total receivables for homeowners as of July 31st, 2017 is approximately $3.4 million. Out of the $3.4 million, $3.3 million is adjusted to legal, $27,000 is adjusted to payment plans, $45,000 is adjusted to 1 month of past due. $854 is adjusted to the past due, and $50 is over 60 days. With that, the approximate $318,000 of payments made through the Common Cafe have been made. I will now speak about accounts payable. The total accounts payable as of July 31st, 2017 was $735,000, which includes all invoices posted as of July 31st, as well as all accruals. Legal invoices accounted for $23,000 of those. R&R accounts accounted for approximately $137,000, and the breakdown of the accounts consists of all invoices of 0 to 30 days, which was $422,000, invoices of 31 to 60 days, which approximately was $149,000, and 61 to 90 days of approximately $33,000. Invoices over the time span of 30 days or more are approximately $131,000. As of July 31st, we have 660 owner occupants and 415 absentee owners. Of the 415 absentee owners, 385 are tenants. Units occupied by tenants approximately represent about 36% of all Galaxy units. The July financial package is now available, and the August will be ready by next week. Thank you. This concludes the report.
Pardon me. Thank you. Next would be the management report.
Good evening, Mr. President, directors of the board and Galaxy community. It is my pleasure to provide a management report for the month of September. We continue to closely monitor the security statistics and take proper actions to address various offenses. The Galaxy is home to over 3,000 residents who have the right to enjoy the community and feel safe. Management urges all residents to report any incidents to security and management. I'm happy to report that implementation of the new SICAP technology now allows security to have a better documentation and reporting system. It transformed the traditional reporting process into a paperless, real-time solution and electronic record keeping. Security is now able to monitor and enforce speed limits in the garage thanks to the new LiDAR speed detection gun, which offers superior performance, greater range to target, faster acquisition time, and image resolution of plates at longer distances, providing a comprehensive video record of speed enforcement and target tracking history. We urge all residents to be conscious and mindful of the speed limit at all times. Please help us in maintaining the safety of our residents and staff as a top priority within the GTCA community. As you can see on the slide, in the past month we had 61 speed violations, first and second offense, 37 parking garage violations, 48 incident reports, 2 physical assaults, 129 service level requests, 10 noise complaints, 15 hallway violations with fines for boxes left in the hallway, 4 hallway violations for decorations on doors and doormats. According to the FBI, active shooter incidents are on the rise, and there are now laws in place in various states requiring owners and managers of commercial buildings to incorporate active shooter training for residents and staff as part of the fire safety and emergency action plans. An active shooter training has been scheduled for Galaxy residents and will take place on Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 at 7 p.m., where there will be a PowerPoint presentation as well as open forum to answer any security-related questions. The presentation will be conducted by Ally Universum and Gothenburg Police Department. The hallway redecorating project continues on schedule with 96 floors completed throughout all 3 towers. The project is on target for final completion in November of this year with 80% completed thus far. Interior signage installation has been substantially completed in Tower 1, Tower 2 and 3 and will continue over the next few weeks. All apartment doors will receive a new custom faceplate, backplate, peephole viewer and a wireless doorbells with 2 plug-in receivers. This will begin to be installed in September and will be done in several phases. More information will follow when a confirmed date has been established. The new walk-off mats have been installed in the lobby of each tower with the custom Galaxy logo, which has received many compliments. Tower 1, 2 and 3 floors behind the lobbies have been substantially completed. Tower 3 will have carpet installed next and completed by Thursday, 21st of September. The garage reconstruction project is slightly behind schedule with an anticipated completion in December. Preparations for the final stages of the garage repair work on the 11th and 12th floors started on Monday. Out of respect for religious holidays next week, installation of the new traffic coating membrane will commence on Monday, September 25th and will continue for 6 consecutive weeks. The work was staged in 3 phases to accommodate all residents with the least inconvenience. Each phase will take approximately 2 weeks. Schedule for painting the lines will be released in the weekly updates once available. Boiler installation. Installation of the new boiler and hot water system project continues on time. And we have a next slide that shows us an overview of the boiler installation project. I'm happy to report that original boiler number 1 was completely demolished, removed, and the new boiler is fully completed. And it should be actually put in service early next week. We're basically testing last phases. Boiler room condensate receiver and blowdown tanks were also installed. All heat exchangers received and in preparation for installation. Steam shutdown was performed and new boiler 1 venting was also installed. Boiler number 2 demolition commences on September 25th and it will take 2 weeks. New boiler number 2 delivery of the new boiler has been targeted for Monday, October 9th. Construction of the new boiler should be completed within 4 weeks. 2 new 8-inch flange OS and Y steam main isolation valves in pump rooms have been also installed. Boiler number 2 startup. We predict that once fully completed, it should be in service in November. Stormwater and sanitary flow. Management is working with the town of Gothenburg, Vernick and Arango engineers representing Gothenburg Town Engineers and A&D Engineering representing GTCA on the GTCA storm sanitary overflow and sanitary connection at River Road. Currently, Galaxy Towers has their stormwater pumping system tied into the CSO pipe that leads to the netting chamber. This was confirmed with a dye test last week with the DPW. Additionally, the Galaxy Towers sanitary flow is force main up to the regulator chamber. This causes additional flow in the CSO pipeline. As per the field dye test, the stormwater pump chamber is directly connected to the manhole in question in the Galaxy Towers S-level driveway. When the stormwater pumps are turned on, they are capable of filling the chamber and throwing the water 5 feet above the ground level. And most of you actually witnessed many of those incidents. This is hydraulically connected to the netting chamber, which increases the flow to the netting chamber. Additionally, the chamber prior to the stormwater chamber is acting as an overflow outlet. The stormwater rises through the both chambers and overflows to the slope to River Road. The River Road Hudson County stormwater collection inlet is surcharged with sediment from this overflow and is currently not able to collect stormwater. The plan is to coordinate the stormwater efforts in the area that is prone to flooding. The town of Gothenburg is wrapping up the investigation part of the netting chamber issue. Currently, all parties are working on direction to take the Galaxy Tower stormwater and sanitary flows that will reduce the flow to the netting chamber, which will significantly reduce the current netting chamber overflow issue. We will continue to provide updates to residents as they become available. Electric service for the Galaxy residents is distributed by approximately 37 down electrical transformers, which convert 480 volt power to 120/208 for use in the apartments. Many of the transformers are more than 40 years old. 6 transformers were recently replaced in the last 24 months to avoid potential failure. 1 transformer failed completely, resulting in total loss of electricity in several apartments. As the transformers are a single point of a potential failure, testing is needed to determine which of the remaining original transformers are critical and which should be replaced in appropriate order. Electrical transformer testing will commence on Monday, September 20th and will continue through Friday, September 29th. Each transformer will take approximately 2 hours to complete. There will be no electrical service in residential units while the testing takes place. The transformer testing daily schedule has been published in the weekly updates. Employee updates. I am excited to introduce to you new employees. First, I would like to introduce to you Daniel Cabrera. And Daniel, you can stand up. I'm going to have a good picture of you. Daniel is a resident operations manager. Basically, he replaced Lee Klimansky. He's an FSR employee. Daniel is an accomplished hospitality professional and operations leader with proven experience leading successful hotels. With over 13 years of hotel experience and working for Marriott, Hilton, IHG, and other luxury boutique hotels, he is exceptionally successful at delivering results by recruiting and retaining top leadership and ensuring all resources are 100% aligned with the company's vision and strategy. Welcome to the team, Daniel. Flavia Vascones is our new part-time administrative assistant. She could not be here tonight. Flavia is a senior at Mount Clair University with major in business and communication. She will be assisting management with all insurance-related matters and insurance claims, as well as the weekly updates and any other special project as needed. And finally, Bianca Ferrara, our new IUS coordinator. She also couldn't be here tonight. Bianca has over 10 years of experience in construction and warehouse management. She's responsible for coordination of all in-unit service work. Management has prepared 2 recommendations for your consideration and approval this evening. The first is a recommendation to retrofit of the existing pneumatic check valves for Seward lift station. The pneumatic valves are key components to use the sewer lift station pumps. They prevent head pressure on motor startup. They also prevent hundreds of feet of sewer piping from backflowing through the pump's impellers and are an integral component of the lift station's mechanicals and controls. These specialty products are not stock shelf items. The Henry PATT valves manufactured by FW Web Company, required for the lift stations, were purchased over a year ago. Unfortunately, were not ordered with the required air over oil actuator for our application. Staff seeks authorization to purchase 2 new custom-made hydraulic sections from FW Web for the total cost of $17,632.94 and award installation contract of $18,480 to Rapid Pump, the lowest bidder, for the total cost of $36,112.94 for parts and installation. The second item is the two-way radio communication. The site currently utilizes Verizon Direct two-way cellular devices. All key Galaxy Tower operations support personnel and all security personnel are assigned these units. Due to the construction and layout of the buildings and parking garage, reception from these units is poor and staff is unable to communicate effectively, especially during emergency situations. Staff seeks authorization to upgrade from cellular service to two-way radio communication to allow for better communication between departments and the following reasons. Number 1, service during emergencies. Call service towers and landlines may fail during an emergency or disaster. However, two-way radios will continue to work during those situations. Additionally, all workers can be contacted at once as opposed to dialing individual phone numbers via phone. Number 2, lightweight durability. Two-way radios are designed to be lightweight and long-lasting. While some phones may require a protective case for use on the job site, two-way radios are often built to military and IP specification, so they are less likely to crack or break when dropped. They're also designed with a long battery life, which many models are able to continue operating for 12 to 26 hours. Cost-effective, two-way radios cost less than cell phones. There are no monthly fees, service contracts, or calling minutes. Also, several workers can share a radio, cutting costs by avoiding the need to issue one per employee. Communication clarity. Unlike many cell phones, two-way radios are designed to offer clear communication in most conditions. They often include features that reduce wind noise and allow resistance to vibration, extreme temperatures, and wet conditions. Staff seeks authorization to award contract to Beamcom Wireless Worldwide for the new equipment, installation and service in the amount of $23,074.81. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dorothy. We'll move on to item 4.0 on the agenda, which is unfinished business. The first item for unfinished business is PR7, the garage parking rules, ADA compliance, reallocation of reserved parking spots. While we've spoken about this for the past few months that we've had a meeting, I'd like to remind everyone that this is the first public reading of the PR, so it will be open for comment after.
I'd like to make a motion to amend policy resolution number 7, parking rules policies. Whereas Article 5, Section 1J of the bylaws empowers the Board of Directors to establish and enforce the rules and regulations for parking by the assignment of parking spaces to unit owners, subject to the provisions of the Master Deed, Articles of Incorporation, and these bylaws. Whereas in order to assure equitable parking assignments to the extended particle and to provide for a garage management program which responds to the needs for proper visual and activity control, the Board recognizes the need to establish a parking policy in behalf of all unit owners. Whereas the Board recognizes that the Americans with Disabilities Act and the New Jersey Barrier 3 subcode require provisions for accessible parking spaces. And whereas in order to achieve compliance with the Act and subcode, the Board has determined it is in the best interest of the Association to arrange parking space locations so that accessible parking spaces are located near the elevator and building entries. And whereas the Board has determined to make certain other revisions to the parking garage policies to address current issues. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following parking policies be and same hereby are adopted by the Board. 1. Parking rights and obligations. 1.1. Each owner shall be entitled to one residential common element parking permit for an approved vehicle, together with the rights of ingress and egress to the parking garage, as such rights shall be governed by the policies and rules and regulations adopted by the Board, as the same may be amended from time to time. An approved vehicle shall mean any vehicle that is 76 inches in height or less and 204 inches in length or less. If a hitch attached to the front or back of the vehicle, the length of the hitch must be included in the overall length of the vehicle. Vehicles shall be parked according to the classes of parking privileges established in this resolution, and so that not to obstruct or egress of other vehicles or pedestrians in or upon traffic lanes. Vehicles in excess of this size of an approved vehicle shall be deemed oversized vehicles. 1.2, there shall be 24 non-reserved, marked and signed accessible parking spaces to be located near to the elevated buildings and entries located on level 11 through 16. 1.3, there shall be a total of 10 reserved parking spaces available for oversized vehicles to be located on levels 6 and 7. Six spaces for oversized vehicles shall be in their current location and may be reassigned at the Board's discretion upon termination of the current permits. There shall be 4 spaces for oversized vehicles located on paired 1.5 size spaces as determined by the Board. These oversized spaces shall not be assigned until there is a request for the reserved oversized vehicle space for each paired space. 62 non-reserved spaces are to be available for the use by the patrons, employees, and owners of the commercial units pursuant to the amendment to the Master Deed dated May 2nd, 2008. 1.5. Parking spaces on each of the levels shall be located as set forth on the parking garage space location plan attached as Exhibit A. 1.6. The new locations of parking spaces shall become effective as each level is relined and painted. Those permit holders of reserved spaces whose current spaces remain as reserved spaces under the new plan may retain the space they previously occupied. All other reserved spaces shall be allocated based upon seniority. First in the time a permit has been held, and second for those who do not hold a permit. The time spent on the request for the permit list, which seniority shall also apply to all subsequent requests for reserved parking. Classes and number of permits. Upon proper application by a unit owner and subject to these policies, parking privileges will be granted on the basis of the following classes of parking permits. 2.1. Class A permits will mean and refer to permits issued to owners or their designees for a premier reserved parking space. There will be a maximum of 300 preferred parking spaces, and the board reserves the right to change this number at a later date. Class A permits are not assumable and may limit in the term and canceled upon 10 days' notice in the direction of the board. There shall be no more than one reserved parking space per assigned subsequent to this effective date of this resolution. Those permit holders who currently hold more than one reserved space may continue to do so. A unit with a reserved space may designate another unit occupant or tenant of the unit to utilize the reserved space. No tenants shall be assigned a reserved space. Class B permits will mean and refer to permits issued to owners on their resident designees for regular parking in the regular spaces, not otherwise set aside for commercial, reserved, or motorcycle parking. 2.3, Class C permits mean and refer to permits issued to the commercial unit owner or their designees for parking in the appropriate stalls. 2.4, Class D permits mean and refers to permits issued to motorcycles, most motorcycle owners parking their motorcycles type vehicle in the designated section of the garage. 2.5, Class E permits will mean and refer to permits issued to building employees for parking their vehicle during their hours of work in the appropriate section of the garage. The board may resist, change, or pre-designate E-permits at a later date as conditions dictate. 2.6, Class F permits, to the extent space is available as determined by the managing agent. Parking privileges will be provided to visitors to the Galaxy on an hourly or daily basis and may vary from day to day. Clearly visible visitor cars must be displayed on the front left windshield. General parking privileges may be restricted or permitted during specific hours of the day and may vary from time to time as determined by the managing agent or the board. 2.7, Class G, means and refers to permits issued to residents grandfathered oversized vehicles which allow them to park in spots which have been identified that can accommodate oversized vehicles. These permits are non-transferable. 2.8, Class H means and refers to permits issued to residents for oversized vehicles to be parked in paired 1.5 size spaces. Assessments and fees for parking. The monthly charges for parking permits will be 3.1.1 regular non-reserved parking for $120. 3.1.2 reserved parking for $175. 3.1.3 motorcycle parking for $55. 3.1.4 parking for commercial subtenants limited to 62 spaces is $120. 3.1.5 visitors of residents, $40 per week. 3.1.6 oversized parking on standard spaces is $175. And 3.1.7 oversized parking on 1.5 spaces is $262.50. 3.2 hourly parking charges are set forth in Exhibit B attached here to. Termination and transfer of parking privileges. 4.1, all parking permits may be canceled upon 10 days' notice by the association. 4.2, tenant residents must obtain parking permits through the owners of their units. 4.3, no permits in any classification are transferable by any party to other except through approval by the board. 4.4, in the event a permit holder becomes more than 30 days delinquent in any installment of his parking assessment, his permit may be revoked and all parking privileges related thereto may be withdrawn. In addition, the board has the right to accelerate payment of all remaining installments and to seek any other remedy or remedies, including auto immobilization, available to it under the condominium instruments or applicable law with respect to delinquent common expense assessments, including the acceleration of residential assessments. The provision of Administrative Policy 2 shall apply to assessments and fees for parking. 4.5, reserved spaces designated for use by an occupant or tenant other than the owner shall be registered with the association identifying the person and vehicle designated for use of the reserved space. Section 5, restrictions. All parking permits and general parking is subject to the following restrictions. 5.1. Permits must be valid, current, and properly displayed. Anyone displaying or attempting to use a fraudulent permit will be reported to the Covenants Committee, which may take any action permitted under condominium documents and may, in its discretion, refer the matter to council for legal action. 5.2. Trailers, campers, recreational vehicles, boats, bicycles, sport utility vehicles, and other vehicles which exceed 76 inches in height or 204 inches in length or 2.5 tons gross vehicle weight are prohibited. If a hitch is attached to the front or back of the vehicle, the length must be included in the overall length of the vehicle. 5.3. Junk, abandoned, or other vehicles on which current registration and required permits and stickers are not displayed are prohibited. 5.4. No vehicles may be parked which display conspicuous for sale signs. Vehicles must be parked in designated areas within the marker boundaries. 5.6. Vehicle identification devices are not transferable and attempted by other than an authorized permit holder will void the parking permit. 5.7. Washing, waxing, cleaning, or servicing of vehicles within the parking garage is prohibited. 5.8. Repair to vehicles as well as painting of vehicles is prohibited. 5.9. Handicap designated spaces must be strictly observed. 5.10. 10 miles per hour speed limit or, as may otherwise be posted, must be strictly observed. 5.11. Vehicle identification permit tags issued to the permit holders are and will remain the property of the association and must be properly displayed. The replacement charge for a lost tag is $25. A permit holder must file a lost report immediately with the managing agent in the event of a lost tag. 5.12. No signs, initials, numbers, storage containers, or any other additions or alterations to parking spaces may be painted, displayed, or created by any owner. This restriction does not apply to the uniform numbering or lettering system that may be applied to all parking spaces by the association. 5.13. Use of the parking garage and parking spaces shall be subject to the rules and regulations, a copy of which is attached hereto and made as part thereof of Exhibit C. Enforcement of regulations, Section 6. 6.1. Upon 10 days prior written notice to any permit holder, the board may revoke a permit holder's license to park for willfully refusing to comply with any of the parking regulations or restrictions. If any vehicle which has been found in violation of these regulations has not been removed, or if the violations have not been remedied within 10 days after receipt of written notice, the board may have the vehicle towed or immobilized at the sole expense and risk of the owner of the vehicle. In addition to the towing privileges cited in this paragraph, alleged or actual breaches of these regulations are subject to appropriate action by the Covenants Committee under the provisions of Policy Resolution Number 4. Notwithstanding any provision for notice in this paragraph, the municipal